Hey, everybody. Welcome to Articulated Points Live. All right, so today we are going to be covering two different versions of the Ninja Commando 4x4, or Striker, as this model kit would have you believe. There it is. Full disclosure, I have opened these boxes already, but just to get the labels, the decals scanned in, so there's a record of those before they get destroyed or removed from the sheet. All right, just a quick primer though. We're going to put that full screen. The Ninja Commando 4x4 was initially released in 2012 as part of the G.I. Joe Retaliation line. Because the movie got pushed back a week, so close to the toy line's release, it was also released in 2013. There's the back of the box. You can see it came with a Snake Eyes figure. This was version 61, so named by me because that's what I was doing back then on yojo.com. As you can see, it is a black version of the Striker with the roll bar retooled with a new missile launcher that was a grappling hook with a string on top of it, and a new roll cage at the front there, and just basically kind of a simplified version of the Striker, but still pretty cool looking. And obviously other licensees took notice because they've made now two different versions, one a building block version and one a model kit for the Furai Flame Toys line. And there's another look at Snake Eyes right there. So as you can see, kind of a fun looking face, her head sculpt that you can pop off. It's on a ball joint so you can reuse it, but the body itself, not really worth writing home about. Honestly, can't even tell you what the digital sculpt on that one was, if it was reused in any way in a more articulated form, but there we are. So let's start building it. I know Forever Clever line, not well loved, and probably with good reason, but we'll push that to later. I have been looking to get this for a while now. The opportunity came up. I got it off Amazon for about half the retail price, so it's still close to $80, but that's a lot easier to swallow than like the initial $150. On the prior streams, you've seen me put together, or prior videos, Snake Eyes and his motorcycle. So this is still part of that toy line. They should all interact together. But this one is meant to be a car, so a little more substantial. And at the end, I'm going to compare to see how it stacks up against classified toys. So, it's probably still going to be undersized for classified figures, but maybe if you just kind of stick it in the background of a diorama or something, it helps build out that world a little bit. And here we go. All right, I'm going to go my standard little overhand view. Ugh. Internet. And hopefully we'll have a a nice look to it. Ooh. Well, that video is sure lagging there. You can see I've got stuff there, but it's not showing. What is going on? Try removing and re-adding. All right. A little better. So we've got the instructions. There's the decals that I already scanned in. And all these camera was working just fine in the pre-show. Now that we've gone live, it wants to fight me. Let's see a second here. The technical difficulties of going live. All right. Running a few seconds behind, but not the worst. You can see we've got our sprues going out here. And they're very noisy, but they're also too large for me to fit all on the screen at one time. The chunky tires there. About half the size of a classified figure. All right. And we can see that the hood already has the Arashikage hexagram. So that's going to be nice because that means I won't have to put that on like I did with the motorcycle twice. That's not paint on there. Those are stickers. Just in case you missed the last three. All right. Let us get the instructions wherever I put them. Yep, right in front of me. Again, there is the decals. Stick those up in the corner there. You know, it only shows 33 steps, but they're always a little more difficult than it makes it seem. Oh, camera, why do you want to freeze like that? The problem here is the second camera is, running off my phone, and that one I can't really do much, can I? Let's see. Hey, Christoph. Thanks for joining in. I am currently fighting my phone for the video. All right, we're going to try this again. It's all going wrong. Brought to you by our sponsors at Technical Difficulties. Yes, Dak, that's pretty much how it's feeling right now. All right, I'm going to try this again. Okay. Ugh, that was a dodgy few minutes. All right. Here we go. Instructions. You can see here's all the sprues. And it only shows 33 steps here, but this is going to be a fun 33 steps. All right. So let's get started. And we're starting with the wheels. face going here. I'm going to use that as my little indicator of where the camera cuts out. As I was doing that, I realized there are two different sprues. Almost got it. All right, and gotta go to E2, whatever that one is. I believe we have found it. We have two E2 sprues. All right, pin side on the right, holes on the left. Okay, auspicious start here. I hope this isn't foreshadowing. There is one that's smaller than the others. Okay. All right, that'll hopefully make it a little easier for me to understand compared to the others. Okay, yes, there is. Okay, we're already on the learning curve. And we're already going back because I'm not reading the full instructions. And yes, there are little nibs here I got to cut off. Turns out the learning curve is a bell. Well, you know. That which doesn't kill us, right? I'll get that later. And the camera has frozen again, hasn't it? Yeah, he just does not want to cooperate today. Yeah, I don't know how well you can see the difference, but definitely a gap versus a more flush look when it's properly snipped. Now I'm second guessing myself. Okay. All right, now I gotta go track down that fourth wheel that ran away. I'm gonna check something here real quick. It's the same setup I usually use, I normally use, and I'm doing these things, and it's never given me these kind of problems before. So, learning opportunity. Okay. Finally, away from the tires. A1 and then E1. Be that one. kind of making up my mind that I'm going to actually cut all the pieces out before we start, instead of just doing it piecemeal, because I am nothing if not inconsistent. Huh. You have a seat adjustment. Doesn't actually do anything, but it's a fun little detail that they put in there. A little crank. Seems like the seats are a little thin even for their own figure. That's curious. H1 and G4. There's that screw. And G4. That's the big one. G is on here. So we're making the front end here. He's got headlights at all. I guess there isn't any stickers that go on them. All right, now we're going to need the B and E, breaking and entering parts. E1. And E2. These ones. And there we go with the camera again. Fun. I am sorry, everybody, for having to put you guys through this. First word problems, no worries, carry on, and all that. Thank you, Dak. Appreciate the support. You're going to have a working suspension on this. I mean, I guess it makes sense when you're going off the All-Striker mold. Guess that doesn't really matter. Alrighty. For the record, this is part A31. It's just all one part. Even love it. Tab A3 reads there if you can't read it, and 1 right there. So I have to snip these bits off. Sometimes you gotta laugh. I could have just labeled the bag A31 or put it somewhere where it'd be covered up, like probably right here. But nope, we're gonna put in tabs that you have to snip off. C2 and H2 are the next ones. That'll be parts 4. So for this tiny little, I guess that is the stick shift. Make sure I don't cut that in the wrong spot. And C2 is the one with the hood on it. It's starting to take on that Ostriker shape. Now, unfortunately, I no longer own the Ninja Commando 4x4. I kind of downsized my vehicle collection a few years back. So I can't show you a proper comparison of this particular iteration. But I do still have a few Ostrikers. So that helps you get your sense of scale. This is the retro Ostriker that came out at Walmart a few years back. And, you know, it makes sense. The Ninja Commando's based off the Ostriker itself, so still a pretty good comparison. The funny thing, of course, being that the Ninja Commando vehicle kind of referencing a dune buggy sort of car that showed up in the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie. But was that meant to be a version of an Ostriker? Was this like a recursive sort of copy of a copy going back to the source material, referencing an Ostriker, becoming an Ostriker that then references the different Ostriker in the movie? It, you know, it's, ooh. Get yourself a headache. All right, looks like we're going to be assembling the front end next. You can see we're putting the hood on, the front tires, the dashboard, and steering wheel. And then I go to put in a bunch of stickers too. This is probably the most defining feature of the Ninja Commando. It's the hexagram on the hood. So it is nice to see it retained. Where are these kits located? I got mine off of Amazon, but you can also get it off of Big Bad Toy Store, still has it in stock. The smaller kits, the Snake Eyes and the motorcycle, you can find these at like Hobby Lobby. So they're not terribly difficult to come by. You just gotta maybe do an online purchase or two. All right, E2s. We're back to the E2s because we're getting these parts out now. And I'll finish off that sprue. G. Close enough to quote the ancient philosopher Mediocrities. And then G2 and or D2 and H2. All right. So we're pulling stuff off of this one. 1 and 2. I like how they number the things on the sprues, yet they don't go in order on the sprues. That's 5, that's 2, that's 1. Like, I guess you're making the instructions before the sprues. And this one I will need parts 1 and 4. Pre-planning would be nice. It would, probably help me a little bit more when I put these together. I get confused at spots. I think that's pretty obvious. And then before we put this assembled, we got a lot of decals to put on here. So we're going to do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them, which isn't all of them, but it's dang close. I like how they decided that the pedals were going to be a decal and not an actual part. Yeah. Why make those pieces? We'll just stick them on. This is a difficult angle. It is going into a well, and it's got a change in the backing at the same time. It's an angled part there. When I was doing all the vehicles for Yojo's archives, the worst part of it was always the pressure I'd feel to get the decals on there properly, because these would be used as the example of how it's supposed to look. Like, I can't screw it up. And then you got a Sky Striker with 10,000 decals. And it took forever to put them on. Had better applications, but that'll work. This sticker is just black. This is for the other side, and it's black. That line is for where the crease is. Like, why are we doing this? Just to even out the glossiness because you put the sticker of the petals on the other side. It's just meant to torture me. Why? Why do you do that to me? Dials. I didn't do it to torture you. That was just a bonus. Okay, well, glad we know which side you're on here. Nine in the corner. Getting all the dashboard dials in place here. And you're not taking their side, just empathizing with your situation. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe I just have a bunch of colored blinky lights, maybe. So these stickers are the kind of like metallic-y ones that you get more often with like vintage Transformers rather than more plasticky vinyl ones you get with G.I. Joe, or the paper ones you got in the later years. If that gets you an idea of what it's like to apply these. Definitely not water slide decals. They're stickers. Okay. Sorry, I had to check a message there that popped up. Patrick trying to reach me. And I realized the camera dropped off. I really don't know. Did I break my camera? I don't know what's going on. This is the thing I've used to live stream, panels at conventions, but for some reason today it just does not want to cooperate. All right. There we go. Tiny little decals. The one other person that should know that I'm live streaming is trying to reach you. Well, he was having trouble connecting, which, understandable. Okie dokie. I think we are finally finished with that stage of decals. Steering wheel. I appreciate that they are giving us a version of the dashboard camera. You look at those tiny little decals and you're like, nope. Yeah, well, that's why I do these things, to show others the folly. You literally don't see this, but they sculpted it anyway. Oof. I can tell this is going to be tricky. I suppose I could use glue, but that's the coward's way. Okay. I think halfway there. Starting to see the scale of it now. So I am looking at this and I'm seeing it's obviously going to be size for this figure. Even then a little tight. You've got the Snake Eyes movie figure who's a little bit smaller. You can kind of squeeze in there if you take the seat out. Or you have a classified Snake Eyes who really doesn't fit well without going over the side. But this center console is a separate piece that we had to plug on there when assembling. And obviously the dashboard is its own piece. I suppose somebody out there could 3D model a new internal and just kind of center the seat to make it a one-seater. Center the steering wheel over here, and then just turn it into like the Stargate version where they retooled the Outstriker for that movie toy line and made it a one-seater. And you could use this as a classified scale vehicle. You just have to, get somebody with a little modeling and creativity abilities. A little 3D modeling, print out some parts, sell it on Etsy. A little upgrade kit. I'm sure that's doable. All right, moving on. And dwelling. D2. And 11. That's these parts. Well, that was that step. Step 15 literally is just look at that piece. You put two parts together. Looks like we're getting into the engine. Okay. Okay, and last two parts on this screw are for the next step. B2. B2. I don't know enough about cars to know what I'm doing here. I'm guessing that's the exhaust. What does any of this mean? I'm just putting parts together. Alrighty, next step. We're getting there, we're moving along, getting into it. Mm-hmm. 3 and 5, so we're putting those two pieces out. And this big thing is like the rear suspension. Okay. This seems complicated. Well, it is a model kit. And to be fair, assembling the Ostriker, the original G.I. Joe vehicle, is probably one of the more complicated cars to put together when you have to, bend over to get that working suspension. I thought as a kid, that was a little more complicated than we should have. Okie all those disparate parts look like they're coming together here, as do the last of the decals. There's some tail lights on here. All right, there's 4 stickers left on there, but those are doubles of the dashboard lights for when they inevitably fall off and get lost forever. Where the hell are the singing cats? It's a tale of 2 Ostrikers, not Aristocats. Or are you actually hearing something? Because if you are, then that's wine coming in from somewhere that I can't hear, which is not good. Making me freak out, man. Alrighty. And now we're doing the rear wheel wells. Our next steps here. 23. So jumping into it. This one, it doesn't matter which one I cut out first because they're angled for different sides. So hope I don't screw this up. Now it's curious. There's foot pegs. Oh, no. It's not foot pegs. It's just where the roll bar attaches. Okay. That makes more sense. Are those little extra bits they put on there for some reason? All right, now the other side. Okay. Radiator? Heat ball? And there's the back part. All right. Only 4 more steps to go. You're on the back page now. All right, roll cage time. This is a glossier black plastic than the ones they're using for the base of the plastic. You can see the shiny gloss on this one, not here. So they're playing with the materials too, which is nice to see. weird sort of peg angle there. All right, here comes the final assembly. I can appreciate that the engine cover is still one big piece, just like the original toy. Okay, big boy. And so that's gonna be how Snake Eyes fits. Just a smidge larger, just a little bit larger than the Moss Striker. Yeah. Can you fit the thing into the camera? So yeah, this thing is as wide as the Striker is long. That's a funny little trivia tidbit there. Okay, let's see. have the Snake Eyes movie figure. This guy's kind of 6-inch. We'll see if he can fit in here at all. Not looking good. I have to glue on that steering wheel. Yeah, it's not so great getting them in there. Taking the seat out. Pop out like that. Okay, okay. Take the seat out, doesn't look so bad. It'll fit. I think classified Snake Eyes might have a harder time just because of the knife sheath, and the gun holster there is going to give them some extra width. Which is going to prevent them from being able to get down in there. But if we were to take those off, let's see. Well, there we go. He'll fit in there. That doesn't look too bad. So maybe you don't have to get somebody to 3D model and print a new cab parts. But you just have to take off some of the secondaries. Not the worst thing in the world. Especially if you have a billion Snake Eyes like I do, and you don't need to put them all out holding their sword in a slightly different way. I don't have much high hopes for Mezco Snake Eyes here fitting inside, because I don't want to risk bending too much. But, have them stand next to it. He looks like he'd fit, normal every day. Again, just take out the seat. Or just not install it in the first place. Easy enough step to skip. All right, so let's switch screens again here. And pull this up. All right. Those Snake Eyes are ostensibly the same scale, but boy, do they look different. And then this guy for good measure, just for the sense of completeness. Okay, so when the Outstriker came out in '85, it kind of essentially replaced the Vamp as the default four-wheeled vehicle. So Let's compare it to the Vamp. There. You know, similar sized. This guy's a little smaller, but a dune buggy would be a little bit smaller compared to, you know, Hummer for sure. Not sure the scale on a Lamborghini Cheetah, but I don't think that would look too out of place in the motor pool if you just left it as is. Again, just, you know, stick it in the back there. Looks fine. And then we have a little four-wheeler to compare to. And again, I don't think that scale is too far off. That is workable. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And sure, there's a lot more cost involved to acquire, and then, you know, the labor of putting it together, but finding it on Amazon for, you know, half price essentially is what it is running now. I think Big Bad Toy Store as well. That kind of puts it in the realm of the cost of your Vamp. So yeah, I would say that's not a terrible option. Obviously, parts are a little loose on here, but I didn't use any glue. So this is how it's holding together without anything modified to it. So obviously you want to glue some parts together, glue some parts, that'll hold up. You're legitimately surprised on how well it scales. I am too. I didn't know, honestly. The box is huge. So, you know, that gives you a sense of how big it is. The picture is actually smaller than it is going to turn out to be. Yeah, I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised. I'm happy with this. You know, all the internet issues I've been having. It's worth it. It's worth it. Oh yeah, and if you have this guy, the Dollar Tree sort of 6-inch scale figure who barely any excessive articulation at all, but, you know, pose him right next to that, suddenly he has a reason for being, you know. He can't fit in it, but he really looks like he would. No like articulation, that's why he can't fit. But. All right, well, let's move on from that to a box of sadness and disappointment for the ironically named Forever Clever sets. This one I may have to end up using glue. We'll see. I do want to see how frustrating it can be trying to build it as it's supposed to be as a toy. But we're not done yet. We're getting to the second half. 100-piece construction sets from Forever Clever of the Ninja Commando 4x4. They call it the Ninja Commando 4x4 on here, which is interesting to me. I know there's a year or two separating these releases, but did they lose the name when it came time to make the model kit? Or do they just feel like the Ninja Commando is a dumb name? Striker sounds better, but the look of the Ninja Commando is still pretty impressive, considering they're only doing Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow as these figures, and given the way they've sold, I don't think they're going to be doing any more. Half of owning a car is just standing next to it looking cool anyway. Geek Viper, you are right, yes. Unless that car is a gremlin. Parts are in 2 bags here. Let's click over to the overview. Instructions. We got 13 steps on here. That's never been the case with any of the cars I've owned. Well, Dak, you should own better cars. What can I say? Yes, I am a barbarian who will just open these all up and spread them out. That's funny. This is supposed to have a Snake Eyes figure in the package. It is not in the instructions, so we're going to have to hunt him down and piece him together. There's his arm. I know on some of the like the Mean Dog and Tomahawk sets, you weren't actually going to guarantee you get all the figure. I've had that issue, so we will make do. Hopefully, we have everything we need here, but we'll find out. Don't think he has any accessories, so it's just the base figure. I do like that they have you assemble the whole thing. All right, let's see hands. Way to start this, there is flashing on the leg hole. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera or not, but I got to clear that out if I want actually to use it. Ow. Forget that they have a little molded nose on the minifigures. Here's that camera. So there's Snake Eyes. Let's see. And we will compare him to the Creo release. And I don't think Creo has anything to be worried about. I kind of like the visor painted on there as opposed to a really thick separate piece that goes, a third of the way off the head. But then, you can't do that with his eyes otherwise. Flashing on the leg hole was the garage band's name. Well, Dak, I would have loved to have heard your terrible, terrible garage band music. Yeah. All right, here we go. That's step one. Oh, wait, no. Sorry, this is my bad. That's step one. I got that right. We were absolutely atrocious. Okay. This is not that many pieces. Why am I having trouble finding them? What I need. Isn't that how it always goes? Or is that just me? Is that just me? It might just be me. Seriously, only need one. Sorry, okay, I'm going nuts for no reason. already we're seeing that legendary Forever Clever precision coming into play. Parts just popping off there. Now, I don't have a big Lego collection, but I do have some. And I can tell you, they're better than this. Dang it, I am not getting this one right. That's why I'm not getting it right. And to be fair, this mistake I can't blame on Forever Clever, just my own stupidity. But, you know, we accept things we cannot change. Okay. Good thing I brought stuff with me. Why would you have me put that over a blank spot? Now it literally just pops back. So this doesn't have a full piece there to sit against. That is confusing. Just cheaping out and want to get 100 pieces exactly. Couldn't go with 101. Wasn't in the budget. I may have to fix that later. We'll see. we go. Okay. These headrests. And so again, they have me putting parts over gaps where one extra piece would make this much more stable in multiple places. Weird corner cutting. I honestly have no idea what this tiny circle is. Apparently, neither does this set. I don't know where that came from. Very strange. I have my doubts how well this is going to hold. I really have my doubts about how well this is going to hold. You're just kind of relying on gravity here. Which is bad because that needs to rely on actually staying put for where this is going. Wow. Engineering, no good, no bueno. Ugh. Come on. A little closer. Thought I had it there for a second. I did not. Okay. Should have seen that coming. All right, I'm calling it now. This is awful. This is not a good time. How are you even supposed to fit on there? Like, in what world is that supposed to be flush? I don't. Okay. I see. So do that on this one too. I'm supposed to go here, maybe? Still not enough clearance. It just doesn't work. Ugh. All right. We're breaking out the glue. I normally don't like doing this because I like to be able to, disassemble if I can, but I'm just not seeing how I can actually finish this kit if I don't try and glue it. I hope people are appreciating the irony that the building block set required glue, but the model kit did not. Okay, that took longer than it should have. This hood attaching point could probably use a bit of a rethink too. There is actually frustration in my voice. I'm sorry. But it's like, it is not well put together. Okay, well. Don't know how well that's going to stay on there, but we will see. Looking good though. Well, thank you. Forever clever is an anagram for something. I don't want to go down that path. Conspiracy theories only lead to the madness I'm starting. Okay. This is comedy of errors or deliberate torture at this point. I've not yet decided. Okay. I actually have to show you what I'm doing. The answer to that is yes. All right, wow. Glad that clears that up. Okay, that took way too long. And of course, there's no decal instructions. So we have to check the back of the box for where these things are supposed to actually go. Now, Lego is sometimes guilty of this as well, but I really don't like it when they make me apply decals over multiple pieces, because that really means it doesn't come undone later on. You can't rebuild it. The amount of times I have to constantly rebuild this is crazy. Okay. Thankfully, this is not always the case, but you can stick your snake eyes in here and have him drive the car. Because not every one of these kits, even if it has a seat or a cockpit or something, allows the figure to actually sit in there. This one does. So that's 1 point in its favor out of a whole bunch of points taken off. Ooh, this was frustrating. I may have to pick up some extra Lego pieces to fill in some of the gaps that make this, unnecessarily unstable. But yeah. Ooh boy. This is just me trying to get the figure to sit properly on the pegs. And the whole front end collapses. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that is over with. Ejector seat. But this was fun, at least. I recommend the Furai Toys Flame Kit. Get this. Don't get this. Get this. They've both been out for a few years now. One is clearly superior to the other. A lot more enjoyable to build. But it does kind of make me want to go back and get a Retaliation Ninja Commando 4x4 just to have all three versions. But, that's just because I'm a fool like that. Okay. I'm going to get out of here before I get any more weird internet connection issues or this thing just disintegrates on me. So thanks for sticking through, and I'll see you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that other stuff. Bye.